Okay, there we go. I think you're, yeah, I think you're. Are you serious? Are you serious? We are live from an undisclosed location somewhere in the heart of Texas. We are live, okay. What a great conference it has been at the Hear the Watchman conference. And baptized 6 people today. I think we had a great time. The speakers were wonderful, powerful time. I think you guys can see me just great. Let me double, triple check our connection here. It looks like it's very well. I'm just going to triple check that right now if I can. And I thought I had that set, but if I didn't, that's fine. I'll just figure it out. But it looks like we're live. And want to welcome all of you tonight. We're only going to go about an hour and a half tonight as we've been having some great fellowship here with some of the friends. We're in a home, and we're going to keep that undisclosed. But we really want to say God bless all of you guys tonight. Just so thankful for everyone that's here tonight. There's a lot going on. What can I say? There's a ton of stuff happening. So get a cup of coffee. I've got a huge cup of coffee, and we're among friends here tonight. So are you serious? I see you, Archangel. Thank God you're not the actual Archangel, but we're glad that's your name. Anyway, we're so glad to have each and every one of you here, and let's get right into it tonight. All right, let me just pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we just pray, God, that you'll just bless this broadcast, Lord, in a mighty, mighty way. We want to thank you for all the blessings you've given us. May people who do this program tonight be saved. And we give you the praise, the honor, and the glory. If they don't know Jesus, Lord, set them free tonight. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. I want to welcome all 262 of you who've already gathered in. There's a lot going on, and I know one thing I was supposed to do is put a shout out to my good friends at noblegoldinvestment.com, and I better do that real fast if I can. Can you guys give me a second, and I'll have that for you because they're my friends.
Phone.
Phone
line.
The phone line. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'll get that open in just a second. Give me 1 second here. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Boom. Real fast, put a shout out real fast to noblegoldinvestment.com. You know, the biggest fear people have in situations like the one we have now with the stock market is not actually losing money. A lot of folks, you'd be surprised, but the biggest fear people have about losing their status with their family and their friends, the ones that have always looked up to you, to be working at the checkout corner, maybe at the local supermarket when all of your old friends are out playing golf or on vacation, like you used to do. It's kind of soul destroying for some people. But gold has risen, you ignored it, and you lost out, but that's not the end. This has not been on the cards for a while now, and this bull market in gold actually started back in 2015. But if you didn't take action before, it's not too late. Putting some precious metals into an IRA or a 401k rollover gives you a safety net against anything bad that's coming. Or you might just have some cash sitting around in the bank making less than 0.5%, and you've been meaning to move it into something different. Get some gold or silver in your hands at noblegoldinvestment.com. They'll help thousands of clients like you. Pick up the phone and call them right now at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And talk to Colin Plume or one of his associates and tell them Pastor Begley sent you there. Are you serious? Do it now. All right, praise God. All right, guys, here's what's going on all over the world. There's a ton of stuff happening. I guess, and it was we were debating on what was going to be the big story tonight. I mean, was it Joe Biden saying there's no use, the election's over? It basically says there's no way that he can win the election. Everybody might as well vote for Trump. We know he's gaffing. We know he makes mistakes. I don't think he means that. Here's exactly what he said. We cannot win this election. We can only re-elect Donald Trump, said Joe Biden at a rally in St. Louis, Missouri. So the former vice president struggling again. But maybe that's what he's been hearing people say, and then that's what regurgitates out. I don't know. But right now, 777 of you live with us. Tell everybody we're over here at our main YouTube channel tonight so we can get this information to you. Let me tell you what else is happening right now. There's been a mysterious meteorite explosion. It just exploded in India when it hit the water. Now, we've talked to Mike from around the world about this. And he said that if a meteorite hits water and explodes, usually meteorites are going to explode in the air, coming into our atmosphere, and then there's a major explosion, and you've seen what happened in 2013. It damaged 1,500 buildings in Russia, shattered windows, over 1,000 people injured. It never hit the ground. It exploded in the air, and then bits and pieces of it hit in Siberia in a frozen lake. But in India, the meteorite was not huge, but it was explosive when it hit the water, which means it could be magnesium. Heidi was just talking to me about that just a moment ago, but we got looking into the article here, and here's what they're saying. Samples of the object, whose precise origins have yet to be identified, are expected to be sent to a lab for testing. India media has captured footage of this mysterious fireball, which fell from the sky near the railway station in Ghaziabad, which is in northern India this past week, with the object crashing down and proceeding to burn out control while being drenched during a heavy rainstorm. And according to the India Today, the incident took place on Wednesday evening with emergency services deployed to put out the flaming fireball after it crashed into the ground with a loud bang, which sounded like a thunderclap. But dousing flames with water proved to be a little use, with the object continuing to smolder and to burn, though it was in the lake. Scientists sent to the scene where the object touched down reported that the object appeared to consist of sodium with samples of gray ash left over from a mystery object expected to be taken to the city of Lucknow, about 400 kilometers southeast of Ghaziabad, for analysis in the laboratory. A number of chemicals are known to react violently when they encounter water, including alkali metals such as sodium, potassium, and lithium, producing heat and flammable hydrogen gas. Such chemicals are known to have been used by ancient natives, including the Eastern Roman Empire during wartime. Some forms of the meteorites are also known to be rich in sodium and potassium. So I guess the question here is, again, how many meteorites, how many fireballs, how many deep impacts are we going to get before we realize that we've come into this debris field? And Mike Around the World is going to be our guest this coming Thursday night. And you guys know that he told us 2 weeks ago that we're going to see increasing meteorites, asteroids, debris field from Planet X, Planet Number 9, Nibiru, the Dwarf Star, the Binary System, the Goblin, whatever name they want to give it tomorrow. It's quite extraordinary, the information that we've been receiving about these incoming collisions. Matter of fact, according to the little green file that Heidi's going to be doing that PowerPoint presentation on during Megaquake 2020, there's several dates set in there by NASA scientists of, first of all, a collision with Jupiter, this massive debris field that we've just now entering into. There's going to be a major collisions. It's anticipated it will happen on March 28th, 2021. And though NASA publicly is not sharing this information with us, NASA privately is discussing this to very intensely using deep space probes and spacecrafts and the Hubble telescope and other observatories around the world, watching these incoming asteroids, which apparently could be sent by this 5 waves of energy, from this binary system. Whether you want, whether there's a Planet X or not. 1 minute, NASA in 1985, NASA announced there is a Planet X, and they put a team of scientists to study it on what was called the Nibiru project. They studied it for 7 years, and then in 1992 they scratched it and said there is no Planet X. But in 2015, Chilean astronomers spotted it in the constellation of Orion, and we've reported all this. And now we're hearing about these waves of energy, the cosmic rays, the UV rays that are exploding on the Earth, the radiation levels, the atmospheric compression pushing the straight line winds. All of this has been leading up to the fact that the heavens are shaking. Well, what did Jesus say? In the last days, he said there'd be signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, distress of nations with perplexity. The sea, the waves will be roaring. And men's hearts have failed them for fear, for looking after those things coming from the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Then we're going to see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to come to pass, he didn't say go crawl in a hole. Don't go in an underground city with the Illuminati. He said, look up, lift up your head. Your redemption draweth nigh. Speaking of the Illuminati, I'm sitting next to one of my good friends he's not part of the Illuminati, but he's been fighting against them for many years. And so, but we cannot disclose his name due to the fact that we must keep his identity protected. But Agent RC from the heart of Texas, how are you?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great. You can get a little closer.
It's good to see you. Good to hear you.
Thank you for joining me tonight here in the heart of Texas. You never know where I may summon you to.
That's correct. Those planes fly everywhere.
So tell me something. Just real quick here, guys, Saudi Arabia, there's something, I want to get into coronavirus, so hang on. But Saudi Arabia, there's something crazy going on there. The Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, has arrested his uncle and one of the nephews to the king.
And cousins.
And several cousins. What's going on over there? What
they were reporting on Debka, and you have here Al Jazeera, is that they were plotting with the U.S. to overthrow him, which is absolutely insane. As you spoke earlier, Jared Kushner are very good friends with him. So I actually think what's going on is that these are the people that are against the peace plan. They don't want the peace plan with Israel, so he's shaking them out. And then you can go into what they're going to do to him.
Well, they've done the shakedown before with this. When King Salman took over, when the king died about 5 years ago, and King Salman took over, it didn't take long. They did a shakedown of the kingdom, and all the uncles and cousins, everybody had to cough up about half their net worth,
and then go live somewhere else for a couple of
years, and mellow out,
right?
And don't come off as if they're going to do a coup and take over the kingdom,
right?
But could this be that, the Saudi Crown Prince, folks, who's a good, very close friend of Jared Kushner, and also is very active in this deal of the century, this peace deal that the President of the United States is going to bring forward. And with Netanyahu winning the election in Israel, although he's 3 seats short.
He'll form the government.
He'll get it. He'll twist enough arms. He should get it. So let's say Netanyahu gets to form the government. He remains the prime minister the rest of Trump's term, second term even.
But
what's this mean?
Let's go back 2 years when Jared was over there with him and the King of Jordan and the representative from Israel, and they were formulating these peace plans. I think in Qatar. I think that's where they were, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they were working this all out. So this isn't like Trump made this thing himself. This was a combination of everybody's involved. And you can tell them about what the Saudis are going to get out of this.
Well, the Saudis are going to make a ton of money. First of all, the Saudis are going to bankroll a lot of this. They're going to turn the Gaza Strip into the Vegas Strip. This is their words. They're going to build, there's an airport that's going to be built right there so that Palestinians can fly in and out of that one instead of trying to go over to Tel Aviv.
And it's not the old 60s Vegas. It's the modern family Vegas. That's what they're going to do.
It's going to create tons of jobs, restaurants, hotels. It's going to put the Palestinian people to work. There's also going to be a big seaport built by the Egyptians, and that's going to bring a ton of trade. And then the Chinese are going to build a highway from Gaza City to Ramallah in the West Bank.
40 feet in the air.
40 foot high in the air so that nobody can pull off the side of the road and take off running to the Israeli territory. So
Just pray your car doesn't break down.
yeah, I mean, this is crazy what's going on, but this is the peace deal. This is what the deal of the century, and it's also, unfortunately, they're going to part the land, two-state solution, and I know a lot of people are mad about that. I can't change it, but God told us this was going to happen. He told Rebekah, he said, in your womb is two nations and two manner of people. The older will serve the younger. So, and then Jesus even said that in the last days, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, then those Jews that are living in Judea, which is the West Bank, you're going to have to flee into the mountains. So according to Trump's plan, his map has 1 million Jews living in Palestine, New Palestine, yet where each Jew lives in their settlement will be considered Israel. So 1 million Jews living in the West Bank. When the Antichrist takes over, these Jews are going to have to flee. So really, about the whole plan is really based on biblical prophecy. We were already told this was going to happen. That doesn't make it going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly, really, at some point.
And this is the beginning. This is the beginning. They're starting with Saudi, and I'm sure there's going to be problems in Israel, Jordan, Palestinian. They're going to have to move the old guard out and bring in the new people.
So you're thinking that this crackdown in Saudi Arabia with these royals is part of clearing the path, making sure that everybody's on board, and they're getting ready to make the move.
Oh, most definitely. This is it. I mean, they're doing it everywhere. Even the King Jordan gave up and let the King of Morocco take over. He's supposed to take over the Temple Mount, I believe.
Yeah, the King of Morocco, King Mohammed VI, wants to be in charge of Temple Mount. That means the Jordan's got to give it up, but Jordan's going to get a bunch of land. Some of it they're going to get a ton of money from Saudi Arabia, and they're going to get some land from Egypt. Egypt gets a seaport. Qatar and Kuwait and the UAE are going to make a ton of money off building hotels and restaurants. Everybody's going to make money. The Israelis are going to make money, and if they build the third temple, right now Israel averages 4 million tourists a year. What the rabbis told me when I was there is they're building right now an infrastructure to handle 30 million people a year. So
let's discuss the Palestinians too, because they are going to benefit the most from all of this deal. I mean, they talk about these different nations. They're going to get their country totally rebuilt, and there's going to be jobs for them to work where there are no jobs right now. They're very, very restrictive. They're going to bring in different plants. They guaranteed them. I think one of them is a oil processing plant. I think oil refinery is what they're talking about with one of them for sure. And so this is going to give them opportunity and a chance, and give them a passport so they can travel. I mean, this is going to change their lives drastically. So they don't have to run around. They're their own nation. They can have what they need. Now, there are some caveats. They won't have an army. Israel will defend them. They'll have their own police force, though, and it's going to change their life.
It will change their life, and it will fulfill. It looks like this could be the deal that is the covenant with many. Maybe this could be the deal that the Bible told us about. This could be fulfilling biblical prophecy. We really just don't know till let's see it play out. It's going to happen at some point. This could be it. I just don't know, but boy, it sure looks like it. We're in the 72nd year of Israel as a nation, and so you're going to see moves like this by different nations, I think, clearing a way for what's about to take place. So let me talk about the coronavirus, folks, for a minute here. It's crazy. Are you serious? Coronavirus exploding on the world stage. Matter of fact, 366 people have now died in the latest reports coming out of Italy. Matter of fact, let me grab it. Heidi just got for me the Center for Disease Control. There it is. Look at this, guys. Unbelievable. Here's the total cases in the world now. Is at 109,835 cases. Now, 80,000 of that is China. And we really believe those numbers are drastically unreported. I mean, I can't confirm how many people have gotten the coronavirus or how many people have died there. There's no way to know. China's numbers are really, really not very good. But here's what we do know. Italy is keeping pretty good numbers. And Italy is now at 7,375 cases. They're now number 2, passing South Korea. So Italy's exploded. There is 366 people dead. The Pope is sick. We're not saying he's got coronavirus, but he got sick on Ash Wednesday during Mass. You got one of his number 2 guys, I think it is, to the Vatican. This guy's sick with the coronavirus. They're shutting down Rome and St. Peter's. They've shut down Mecca. They've shut down Medina. They're shutting down, and now they're even asking LeBron James in America, would you play it? Maybe the NBA should just play in empty stadiums and nobody go. We'll talk about America in just a moment, but this is insane what's going on in Italy. Look at the numbers. Italy, 7,375 cases, 366 people dead. South Korea, 7,314 cases. Iran, 6,566 cases. And then you got France at 1,100. Germany at 1,000. The good ship Lollipop. I mean the Corona cruise ship or the floating petri dish or whatever it is. It's at 696. And you got 673 people with the coronavirus in Spain, 537 in the United States, and that's not counting the 21 that California Governor Gavin Newsom has got held prisoner off the coast of San Francisco. They're having a real San Francisco treat over there, just by the way. And Japan's at 502, Switzerland's at 337, UK's at 273. But really, the flu blows all these numbers away. I mean, there's 3,803 people have died, and that's terrible. But 35,000 people have died in America so far this spring from the flu. So why are we shutting down the economy? And get this, a secret facility at Hezbollah Beirut Hospital is caring for the Iranian higher-ups in the government who have actually got the coronavirus. So why? I mean, the Iranians can't even take care of their own top brass, yet they're threatening to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. They're threatening death to America, death to Israel, yet they can't even take care of their own top people sick.
City of Qom, they were telling the people to lick the shrine and they'd be protected. And Heidi came out and said it was the worst thing they could do. Well, today it's reported that the coronavirus is now, they're getting it from licking the shrine.
What?
So it's just insanity. It's just absolute insanity.
Well, Heidi said this, didn't she? She was doing a show, and she said, what are these people doing? This is the worst thing to do. And look at Iran. Look at Iran.
And now the Iranian leaders aren't even being treated their own country. They're flying to Beirut because they're not being restricted by U.S. sanctions. They can go there and get treated without any sanctions.
Good point. So, and why isn't Hezbollah on the terrorist list? Why isn't Hamas on the terrorist list? Why isn't Adam Schiff on the list? I mean, there's a lot of people should be on this on the list. I can't figure this out. And maybe Joe Biden's right when he was, maybe this wasn't a gaffe. Maybe this was he's a kind of like a Manchurian. I mean, what did he say? I'm starting to throwing stuff around. I got the meteorites crashing in India. We got the people dying over there. Yeah, and Joe's Biden is losing. I forgot what he said. He said they can't win. Oh, I got it right here. He said they can't win. He said we cannot win this election. I mean, imagine this guy in St. Louis, Missouri, standing on the New Madrid fault line, which is shaky ground anyway. And he's standing up there and he says, we cannot win this election. We can only re-elect Donald Trump. Maybe this is what they're saying in the back rooms. Maybe this is what's going on in the cigar smoke-filled rooms. Okay, wait.
Maybe we allowed this to happen. Now we have access to sick Iranian high officials that we now can go in and talk to, and other countries can.
Wow. And you got a point
there.
They're
not in Iran anymore.
No, they're not. So maybe this is a back channel?
Back channel.
So maybe they're not even sick. Maybe they're just going there and hanging out in the hospital.
Helping you if you can help us.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. There may be something there, folks. There's a lot going on. I want to welcome all 2,000 of you with us live tonight on our YouTube channel. Everybody put a thumbs up. Do it quietly. Put a thumbs up, okay? I don't want to get shut down again today, but we're so glad for each and every one of you here. Let me tell you what else is going on. I'm going to read some more about this coronavirus, that Italian article I have here. There's an article here out of Italy, very important. I mean, when you think about and somebody said this cup is not big enough. What? I know, it's huge. It's huge.
We have bigger.
We want to thank your wife. We had a wonderful meal here, and a lot of good hospitality here. She's really thankful. 366 people have died, though, of the coronavirus in Italy. It's really terrible. The Saudi schools are shutting down also. Death toll in Italy jumps in the last 24 hours by 130. The death toll from the coronavirus outbreak in Italy has jumped by 133 people in the last 24 hours. Italy imposed a quarantine on Lombardy and other severely affected areas, impacting some 16 million people as it stepped up efforts to tackle Europe's largest outbreak. The move came as the struggles to contain the virus spread, with over 1,247 new cases in the last 24 hours. Italy is it's off the chain right now with this virus. Really, they are. And they've surpassed South Korea with the virus, and it's hit right in the heart of Rome. It's spreading throughout the entire nation. And where does it go from here? I mean, Europe has got to be concerned about what's happening right now. But let's go to China. Guys, you know this is where it originated. We could talk about I don't want to talk about bioweaponry because I know that's sensitive right now. I don't want anybody mad at the NSA. But China really does have a serious problem. It's not just the coronavirus. Economically, people can't go to work. Millions of people are quarantined. They've had the swine flu now. The Chinese piglet prices. Half the pigs in China had to be put to death, had to be slaughtered.
We're flying them in.
Yeah.
Trump kept the deal when he did the trade agreement with China that not only did we fly the pigs in or ship, but we process the pigs to prevent swine flu. But there's not enough.
So the price of pork here in America is going to soar because you can't ship this much pork to China and not expect the price of bacon to go up. It's going to happen. It's good for the farmers. I mean, the pig farmers are going to come out smelling like a rose. No pun intended there, but they really are going to come out real well in this deal. But Chinese pig...
The farmers might object to that.
Time out. I didn't mean to say that. I was just trying to put that in perspective, but they're going to come out all right, okay? Chinese piglets. Can I focus? Don't do that to me. Chinese piglet prices hit record high, though, as the virus disruptions. The piglet prices in China soared to record highs on Thursday, March 5th, and the supply chain woes that persist from the coronavirus breakout. Farmers have been attempting to rebuild their herds as supplies remain tight after the African swine fever decimated, get this guys, 40% of the country's pig supply in 2019. So imagine China, you lose 40% of your pig supply in your nation, and then you get hit with the coronavirus.
And then you lose 40% of your nation.
And then you're still under, though, Trump's tariffs. He's not letting up. Okay?
They've been reduced.
Yes. And so, to some, a little, but they're still crying. But oh, by the way, there is one good thing that China can say they got. They don't have any more protesting in Hong Kong right now, and a lot of people are suspecting. Could this been?
They are protesting in Hong Kong, but they're not in China.
Right? No, not in China.
They started protesting back up.
Do you think they'll continue again?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to give up their freedom.
They're tired of it.
Well, I don't blame them. They really can't. They have to hang on to it, folks. They have to. Get ready, though. Here you can see the graph. The price of piglet price is going to skyrocket. It's already starting. And you can look for that to happen on the shelves across America. Just understand why it is. can't let that group go completely without food over in China. We have to help. The coronavirus, the catalyst for a system failure. I want to welcome all 2,100 of you with us live tonight on our YouTube channel. Today's global economic system is more intertwined than at any point in history. For the past 30 years in particular, the globalization and the theory of comparative advantage have been alive and well. Technological advancements and transportation improvements have truly shrunk the world and allowing more countries to participate and benefit from the international trade. The globalized world economy has become a vast network of complex supply chains, interconnectedness, and codependence. The benefits have been widespread, done more to lift the human condition and more people out of poverty than any development in history. However, this increase in economic complexity has magnified global vulnerabilities, opening up the risk of a rapid, large-scale failure and contagion, a period of anti-globalization. So the coronavirus is the catalyst that is now triggering a supply-side crisis, one that is further exacerbated by the stimulus demand-side shock. Think about this, and maybe someone should talk to Bernie, but the socialism's has never worked. Communism, socialism's never worked. The cruise looks like cruise ships are going to get shut down. The cruise tourism is going to die on this, okay, for a while.
Airlines.
The airlines are hurting bad. So people are not going to travel, and shipping. People can't get stuff across.
Didn't you mention to me that CNN told all the Christians to stay home Sunday?
They did. Stay home Sunday. And you're going to hear that really there's going to be a push this week coming up.
Where's Psalms 91 and all this?
Nobody's quoting Psalms 91. Nobody wants to believe that. Nobody has any faith. Here's what's going to happen. Just mark my words. In either next Sunday or the Sunday after, mainstream denominations are going to endorse congregations to stay home.
They can come to our church.
I know there's going to be mainstream, where I'm not saying all the churches are going to do this, but some of the mainstream denominations are going to mandate their churches will be closed. They will fall for this situation, and when they do, it's literally going to be the end of faith for a lot of people. It says that our God's not big enough. Look, the flu. Look, all you got to do is just wash your hands and do what you do all the time. You got 19 people who have died from coronavirus in America. You have, or is it 22 now? Okay, 22. You have 35,000 people who died from the flu. So if you're going to shut things down, you should have already shut it down for the flu virus, okay, which is worse. And how about this? When's the last time anybody got excited about the 60 million abortions in this country? Nobody talking about that. That's not a crisis in this nation. So, do we have our priorities right? The last thing I want is the state telling me when we can have church and when we can't have church, okay? Churches stay open for those who want to come and worship and pray. Set some procedures in about shaking hands and that kind of thing. I'm all with that. But don't be shutting things down just because the government wants to shut down. That sounds like some of the, look, you cannot succumb to fear because there's not enough room in your heart for fear and faith. Now, I'm not saying not be wise and use some wisdom. And there could be a time when an outbreak of some kind of pandemic might require some of those things to actually be done. But this is not a crisis to the point of shutting down the NBA, shutting down the churches, shutting down the factories. I mean, what are we thinking? Is there any adults left in Washington that we can come up with a better way to address this? And this is what I'm concerned about. I just think that we're over exaggerating. Even 3,000 people killed globally since December is bad. Nobody wants it. But man, we're paralyzing the world over something that is not nearly on a scale of all of the pandemics and all the virus. Cancer. When are we going to get nervous about cancer? Auto accidents.
45,000 people a year.
And it's unbelievable. So, I don't know. Might just calm down, okay? Just calm down, everybody. I'm not, yeah, and get coffee. And I'm drinking Black Rifle coffee, which is not Paul Begley coffee, by the way, but it's really good. I have to say. Black Rifle is pretty good. And imagine, though, if this was Paul Begley coffee, which you can get at my website, it would go great in this big cup. It really would. Can you imagine? I'm sorry. Assume crash positions, folks. Goldman Sachs has just cut Brent price target to $30, with a possible dip near $20. When we discussed Saudi Arabia's shocking decision Saturday to reverse on years of prudent oil policy following Friday's stunning collapse at OPEC. Can you say something about that?
That was because the Russians have left OPEC for all intents and purposes, and they're going to overproduce. And because that, Saudi Arabia said that we're overproducing. We're going to outproduce everybody. Because they can't compete with the United States, especially other parts of, specifically parts of the United States, West Texas and the Dakotas, these areas. And I think Utah just found a huge group of oil sand, one of the western states. I may have it wrong. But oil's crashing. When I came and got you yesterday, it was $1.87, and when we picked you up today, it's down to $1.85. It's fallen 2 cents today.
Oh, we just got, Dana just brought over here on her phone, breaking news. Iranian official who took part in the 1979 Iran hostage crisis dies of the coronavirus. He's another high-ranking official in Iran. He has died from the coronavirus, according to state media. Hassan Sheikh Hulassam, who's 68, the former Iranian ambassador to Syria, studied at the University of California, Berkeley. I don't understand how all these Iranians all studied in the United States. Before becoming a leader of the radical Iranian student who stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. And they took the 52 American diplomats hostage. You guys remember that, for 444 days? He has now died. Now, that's not the same guy that was in the government before, is it, Dana? Remember there was a number 2 man, or
no, it's not the same.
It's not the same guy.
No.
But still, this is a very popular politician and very popular guy there. So, yeah, that's good. Thank you for that breaking news right there by Dana, the Dana report. Okay, we're just so thankful. I mean, this is what's happening, and now we worry about the finances here, the oil prices. Oil prices going down
2 cents in one day.
That's good for American consumers, but at some point that could start to hurt the oil production here in Texas. I mean, how are we going to deal with this?
I think Trump's funding it. I think he has slush money somewhere, and he's doing it. Now, I could be completely wrong.
You think he's propping up the oil industry if this goes down too far?
I think he already is.
Well, he's going to have to help the airlines too.
Look who's the Secretary of Energy. Help me out, Dana.
Secretary of Energy?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Rick Perry.
Okay, yeah. Now he just resigned. No, they got a new guy now. He was it's some underlink.
I can look it up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But still, Rick was running there until just recently, and he's a Texas governor. So.
But here's who really gets hurt. It's not going to be as bad. The Americans in Texas and North Dakota and Alaska. It's the middle. We don't need to buy Middle East oil. Nobody's traveling.
We're buying Russian oil.
Yeah. We don't need all this. And so what does this all mean? Well, it means America's to continue America first. When Trump was elected and he cut, first of all, the tax reform fueled an economic explosion and growth.
That's the gentleman right now.
The Secretary of Energy is
Dan
Brule. Okay, he's a new guy. He was already like a deputy secretary to Rick Perry.
Right.
And Rick Perry just did a great job at the Secretary of Energy. So yeah, this will price of gas is right now under $2 a gallon down here in Texas at the pumps. $1.85 at the pumps. You have to say Trump's done a tremendous job. And while the prices of gas have stayed low and it has helped fuel this economy, it hasn't hurt the oil industry at all in Texas. They're cranking oil like crazy. They're making money down there like mad.
Or in northern Syria.
Or northern Syria, yeah, where they're doing it up there, of course. And so, yeah, I mean, it's amazing what's going on right now. We're seeing a lot going on. I want to ask Heidi, because I jumped in there and said, Heidi, can you tell us a little bit about coronavirus? Just tell people what they should do about washing their hands. I mean, what do I need to know? Am I forgetting something? Do they need a mask? Just wash their hands with water and soap? Is that it? That's it. Germs and Jesus are everywhere. So that's it, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. It is serious. I'm not saying it's not. But at the same time, we can't let the media dictate how we think. We can't operate in this kind of fear. Guys, there was a 70-car pileup or something in Pennsylvania in the snow blizzard where more people got killed than of the coronavirus. I don't think, I mean, are we going to shut down the interstates? I mean,
Well, look,
we're messing, we're freaking out here.
Look what Elon Musk said. He came out yesterday, the day before, said exactly the same thing you did, and they basically decapitated him. They went after him every fashion way. They said, how could you say that? How, you're so uncaring, blah, blah, blah. But keep it in perspective. Keep it, you and the dogs. I'm sure there's more dog bites than there are from coronavirus. And I'm not being facetious. I'm telling the truth. Just look at the statistics.
Yeah. Again, we're not saying it's not a serious issue. There's a lot of people are sick, and people have died. So I'm not saying it's not serious, but we have to be careful that we don't let a runaway media paralyze our way of thinking. Okay, just use common sense is all we're saying. Use common sense. Live your life with some faith. Read Psalms 91. And then just pray one for another and wash your hands, like Heidi said, and just keep on going, okay? And do the right thing. We've got more stuff going on right now around the world. Want to get some more information to you. In Italy, though, the coronavirus has really put that nation in a jam. Over 1/4 of the population is now in quarantine there. All the schools, all the universities have closed. The outbreak has really created a massive concern and confusion and the public outcry, and people are very, very afraid. So you can understand what's happening there. And then, of course, the Grand Princess cruise ship that's off the coast of San Francisco right now is they can't get enough kits. The problem is, and Governor Gavin Newsom won't let the people off the boat unless they're tested, but they can't get enough kits to test the people. So we really have an issue here. The statistics, I'm not sure we know what the statistics are because we can't get kits to test people.
Why isn't Gavin putting him in with all the rest of the people on the military bases?
I don't know what that's about. I'm not sure why that's not happening. And
they're set up for this.
Yeah, they really are, and that's what they should be able to do. The NBA, like we said, is a letter was sent from the commissioner to all the teams of the NBA asking would they consider going ahead and just playing the games with no fans, let everybody just watch it on TV. LeBron James spoke out. He's the best player in the league, and he said, I can tell you this, if there's no fans, I'm not playing. I play for the fans. I'm not doing that. So that'll put everybody on their heels, and so we'll see how that plays out. Wow. And anyway, I don't think the owners can make any money if there's nobody in the stands. I mean, the ticket sales and the concessions. We're talking multiple millions of dollars every game. They can't. There's TV rights. It won't be enough to cover it all. So it's going to be huge. Kamala Harris is now backing Joe Biden. So a lot of folks are joining in with Joe Biden, and it looks like the Democrat Party is really getting behind Joe, and Bernie is going to be left out there with the far left groups. There it is. Okay, and here is some of the things that they're saying. When Joe Biden says we cannot win this election, we can only reelect Donald Trump. During his rally, Joe tripped over his own tongue in a mistake, but Biden mismatched his name with Obama's name as he was bragging about being a lifelong Democrat. he called himself Joe O'Biden. So that's a problem. So there's a lot going on over there right now, and
You were an old Begley.
I was an Begley for real. And the Begleys are from Ireland, and maybe he was an O'Biden. He's an Irishman too. So maybe maybe you know what? Let's not give him the guy a hard time. Maybe he's Joe O'Biden, because I should be Paul O'Begley. Okay, so yeah, good job, Heidi. Way to zing me on that one right there. Are you serious? Yeah, let's give Joe a break here. He is an Irishman. As a matter of fact, speaking of break, can we take a break? I'm going to get some more coffee. This cup is way too small. And so we'll be back, guys, with more. I'm going to get a song right now. Everybody, hang on. Somebody said, Pastor, you're making me laugh. You're killing me. Hang on, everybody. Don't freak out. It's going to be all right. Are you serious? Are you seriously serious? We're going to get a song. Don't go nowhere. 2,300 of you. Tell others. We got a whole lot more to talk about. It's insanity, but it's all right. And I can't open this because my file says I can't open files, but then I push it and it says I can, and then I hit here, and then I get there, and then I go like this. We need some angels among us, Heidi. Angels among us. I was walking home from school on a cold and winter day. Took a shortcut through the woods and I lost my way. It was getting late and I was scared and alone. Then a kind old man took me by the hand and he led me home. Mama couldn't see him, but she was standing there. I knew in my heart he was an answer to my prayer. Oh, I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you in our darkest hour, show us how to live. They teach us how to give, to guide us with the light of love. When life held troubled times, had me down on my knees, there's always been someone to come and comfort me. A kind word from a stranger to lend a helping hand, a phone call from a friend just to say I understand. Ain't it kind of funny at the dark end of the road, someone lit the way with just a single ray of hope. I believe there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you in your darkest hours. They show us how to live. They teach us how to give, and guide us with the light of love. They wear so many faces, show up in the strangest places, grace us with their mercy in our time of need. There Okay, guys, we got breaking news here. Several. So, Heidi, you want me to pull up on here first? I'm going to read this one too. What do you got right there?
Breaking Israeli news.
Okay. Let me go there. What's the headline on that thing?
Iranian leader who took U.S. hostages is dead from the coronavirus.
That's what we
Yeah.
That's what we just talked about.
And it also talked about several others who died, right?
Four. At least four.
Corona.
Four leaders.
Four leaders. There's something going on. Something big going on. And, I mean, what's the odds of that? Okay, let me hit this. That's and that's going to be Israeli news, not breaking Israeli news live.
Mm-hmm.
North Korea just launched a missile.
North Korea has just launched a missile. Oh, that's nice. World Bank. Okay, hang on. I just got it. I found it. World Bank launches its first ever pandemic bonds to support $500 million pandemic emergency financing facility. The World Bank has just launched its first ever pandemic bonds to support the $500 million pandemic emergency financing facility. The World Bank International Bank for Reconstruction and Development today launched a specialized bonds aimed at providing financial support to the Pandemic Emergency Financing Facility, a facility created by the World Bank to channel surge funding to develop countries facing the risk of a pandemic. This marks the first time the World Bank bonds are being used to finance efforts against an infectious disease, and the first time the pandemic risk is low-income countries is being transferred to the financial markets. So the PEF will provide more than $500 million to cover developing countries against the risk of a pandemic outbreak over the next 5 years through a combination of bonds, derivatives, priced today, and a cash window, and future commitments from donor countries for additional coverage. So that's the first time this has ever happened. And then we have here,
Iran's blaming Israel for the virus.
over the last several days, Iran has pushed reports claiming that the Zionist, that the Zionist Christians have created the coronavirus. The evangelicals, the people who support Israel. Iran says we did it. Hang on, everybody. But as evidence, Press TV cited an article from the same anti-Semitic website that once published an article widely distributed in Iran about how America's Jewish population is responsible for the country's wars in the Middle East. Israel hasn't been involved in any of the wars. And all these wars have been going on. They've been fought between Islamic countries, Shiites and Sunnis fighting with each other, or the Americans fighting after 9/11 with Middle Eastern countries. You can't blame Israel. But anyway, on March 5th, Press TV claimed that the Zionist elements developed a deadlier strain of coronavirus against Iran. And although the report claimed to reference a foreign academic, it fits the pattern of Iran using foreign experts to give the regime's own views a sense of authority. The agenda of Iran has been threefold since the coronavirus outbreak began in effect in Iran in mid-February. Iran initially denied that there was a virus outbreak in February, so it could increase voter turnout for its election. Now, it's accepting that it's happened. It's blaming the United States Christian Zionists who support Israel. Now, while that's going on, Heidi has just found, let me find it here. Give me a second. I'll get to this too. But where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. Breaking Israeli news live. Now we talked about this earlier in the first hour about this leading Iranian official dying. Well, I guess there's been 4 of them. Iranian leader who took the U.S. hostages back in 1979 in the Islamic Revolution, in the 444 days and the 52 hostages. Remember when Jimmy Carter was president and then Reagan was coming in, and the very hour that Reagan was being sworn in, the plane finally left. You guys remember that, I think. Well, one of the guys who was one of the hostage takers, who's been allowed to remain a leader in the Islamic Republic of Iran, has died of the coronavirus. He said, if you will heed Hashem, your God, diligently doing what is right in his sight, giving ear to his commandments and keeping all his laws, then I will not bring upon you any of the diseases that I brought upon the Egyptians, for I, Hashem, am your healer. And that's Exodus chapter 15:26 in the Israeli Bible. Now, Hassan Sheikh Holasham, the former Iranian ambassador to Syria and a hostage taker of the U.S. diplomats in the U.S. Embassy in 1979, has died of the coronavirus resulting from a coronavirus infection. He was only 68. Sheikh Holasham was one of the leaders of the students who took the 52 U.S. diplomats at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, Iran, hostage in 1979, only releasing them after 444 days of captivity. He had studied at the University of California, Berkeley, before the Islamic Revolution. As an English speaker, he interrogated the American hostages. Well, Sheikh Holasham was diagnosed 2 days ago with the coronavirus, taken to a hospital the next day, and died. The advisor of the Speaker of the Parliament, Hassan Abdullah Halin, insisted that he was recovering 1 day later, but then it was announced that Sheikh Holasham had passed away. Now, and I think his name is Sheikh Holaslam, because there's not an H, it's a S-L-A-M, so that would be Sheikh Holaslam, not to be confused with some of the other guys over there. As geographically illustrated in a pin he was wearing on the photo, Sheikh Holaslam was a strong supporter of General Qassem Soleimani, and of course, then the General Hassan Salami, and the terrorist leaders eliminated by order of President Donald Trump. It is interesting to note that the last week that Mashu Ibikabkar, and Matt, please get guys, name people different over there, like John Smith or something. Vice President of Iran for Women and Family Affairs tested positive of the coronavirus, and he was elected president of the 12th International Congress. Not so ironically, also another spokesperson of the students, a woman of the students of Iran, she was also involved in taking hostages. She has died. They call her Sister Mary. Matter of fact, Sheikh Holaslam is the fourth major leader who's died of the disease. Mohammed Haj Abskwami, who is acting as the commander of the battalions in Tehran area, and Iranian intelligence service, also died. I mean, the top people are dying over there of the coronavirus, and that you can't help but wonder, is somebody going around poking these guys with something? I'm not saying it's happening, but man, when the top leadership is all dying of the coronavirus, you start wondering about this. And I mean, but then again, when people are licking that, like Heidi said, don't go around licking the shrines. And this is why over in Saudi Arabia, they shut down Mecca. They don't want people going over there and kissing the black stone and coronavirus spreading. Remember MERS? Remember when that spread in the Middle East, Heidi? MERS and SARS and all of these things. So what's your thought of 4 key Iranian leaders dying, Heidi?
It's interesting.
It's more than interesting, darling. It's way more than interesting.
Who's playing over there, Paul?
Huh?
Remember 3-4 weeks ago, we had the article where the British ambassador was protesting with the Iranians in Tehran. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So we know the British have been over there for many, many years.
Yes.
So they're playing. The French are over there. They're playing. So either one of those would have ample reasons to target these
Mossad.
individuals. Certainly Mossad.
Certainly Mossad's over there.
So we've been shutting down all kinds of things going on around. Like, I know Ohio governor, he shut down something going on there. And
He shut down this weekend
Governor Kasich, who...
well, I don't think he's the governor now.
Oh, he's no longer the governor.
There's a new governor.
New governor in town.
But he shut down, Columbus, Ohio, he shut down a conference of 253,000 people that were coming.
And something else was going on. South by Southwest, they shut down. So all this undue panic is going on when,
Yes.
when we've had flu season going on and we've never shut anything down for the normal flu season. Well, something ironic is going on. International Women's Day, marchers around the world call for equality. March to raise awareness of discrimination against women are taking place in cities around the world to mark International Women's Day despite the fear over the coronavirus outbreak. Thousands of people took to the street across Asia, Indonesia,
France.
UK, Belarus, Spain, France, UK. Thousands of women all over the globe, literally,
Marching?
have taken to the streets all over despite the coronavirus fears. Now they can still make it out for these groups and these causes. They
But
have
the governor-
overcome the coronavirus fears.
But the governor of Ohio hasn't overcome the coronavirus fears and shut down a huge conference of 250, 250,000 people.
Yeah,
You know what that
these
did to the
women all
economy?
It's
Yeah.
It's march
Women
for women.
marching all over the world and nobody shut it down.
No.
Nobody's crying about it.
No.
But-
Feminist groups all over.
but of
March
course-
for women. MARCH for the letter for women.
But if you shut down 250,000 people in Columbus, Ohio, Heidi, you hurt the economy, and they can, especially when the media is blaming Trump for it. Okay, now Ohio. If you're going to win the White House, you have to win Ohio. Well, if you can cripple some of the economies and get the people angry at Trump for somehow, then maybe Ohio doesn't vote for Trump in the election. If you shut down,
We've never shut down anything.
we're not.
during normal
Flu
flu
season.
season.
45,000 people
This is
die every
normal
year for
flu
the flu,
season.
and we're not shutting anything down. But the women marches all over the globe continue, no fear here. But the churches are going to close because they got fear. I'm saying to the church leaders, I'm saying to the denominational leaders, guys, don't fall for this. Stand strong. If anybody should be standing strong, it's the church. It's people of faith. If the women can march all over every city across the world, and they're not afraid, then why are we afraid? Or is there something more sinister here? Okay, is there something more sinister, more darker? You had some more here. You had some more stuff here.
Oh, no, try to do this one next.
Okay, we got breaking news. Get this, breaking news coming out of North Korea. Kim Jong-un has done it again. He's went boom, boom, boom. He loves to hit those little green buttons, and this is a kid like on a video game. You know, he's sitting there, and they got all the nukes, and he's like, can you imagine? Well, anyway, North Korea fires an unidentified projectile. That's another fancy word for a missile, as if crashing futures and coronavirus panic isn't enough for Monday morning's Dow Jones. How about North Korea launching missiles according to South Korea? The South Korean military said early Monday, the local time, that these 3 unidentified projectiles were launched off the east coast of North Korea. There was no further details on the trajectory of the projectiles. I just hope he didn't shoot them over top of Japan's head. What's your thoughts on it? What? Or landed where? Where's it?
There.
It shot right over
It
there,
went from here
over into the ocean. Okay.
Well, he's
South
just-
China.
He's,
South.
Being, he's being knocked out of the press, so he has to do something to get back in the press. I mean, look at the
Like Hillary?
coronavirus and everything.
Yeah.
So he's firing a couple more missiles and gets press coverage back, make himself relevant.
And if he can bring more chaos, and the doomsday clock is only 100 seconds away. I mean, this guy's. You got a coronavirus. You got a Dow Jones is crashing.
He feels lonely.
You
That's
got
all
you
it
got you got people crying in the streets. And then you got Kim Jong-un. Yeah, why not? And so this is still happening. So guys, we got to deal with this too. Going on right now. So, what will the market do tomorrow? What will the market do tomorrow? And don't forget this, though. Let me throw something out for you. Friday, we came out with the job numbers. Nobody wants to talk about it. 273,000 new jobs in February. 100,000 more than the experts projected. Unemployment down to 3.5. It doesn't matter about the stock market. People are working. They have paychecks. They're buying their homes, the mortgages. They're moving forward. The only thing that could stop it is as Rahm Emanuel, and never let a good crisis go to waste. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Market massacre. Here's what they're anticipating. See, this drives me insane. What? Oil crashes 30%. The Dow Jones may be down another 1,000 points in the morning. Explodes as spews crater. Following what may have been the most drama-filled weekend since the Lehman Brothers Sunday, in which we saw not only another major spike in the corona cases around Europe and the United States, but also the total collapse of OPEC after Saudi Arabia unilaterally decided to flood the market with deeply discounted oil in a desperate attempt to crush the competition, yet which may backfire and soon lead to riots in in Saudi Arabia. Markets are reacting appropriately, just like during Lehman Sunday, everything is crashing. The S&P futures are down by 4% in early trading, plunging as low as 2,845 and fast approaching their limit down price of 2,819 as investors around the world puke risk in unprecedented fashion. That's what it says. Is that a typo? World puke risk? Anyway. Dow futures are down more than 1,000 points, unwinding on Friday. Remarkable late day rally and then some. So tomorrow morning we may wake up. Check this out, guys. Here's the futures market, the inconsistencies. We don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, but check this out. Price of gold is exploding and going up, and watch out. Gold will probably erupt in the next 2 months. Over $1,700 an ounce right now. I expect it to get to $2,000 an ounce, maybe by mid-April, and watch silver jump from $18, $19 an ounce to $30 to maybe $35 an ounce by mid-April as well. It'll be right in there behind gold. We've been talking about these things, and in the Bible, let me just say this because some people don't understand how gold works. God, when he made the Ark of the Covenant, he plated it in gold. When he built the temple, Solomon plated the entire inside with gold. When the children of Israel left Egypt after 430 years as slaves, and all they had was a shirt on their back, they didn't crawl out of Egypt broke, busted, and disgusted. They, after 10 plagues, you want to know what happened to their economy? The greatest turnaround in history. They left Egypt with not only their own sheep and goats and camels, Heidi, but they left out of there with the Egyptians gold, silver, costly garments, jewels. I mean, they went out. They went from worst to first during the worst economic plagues, 10 plagues in a row, did not break them because they were living in God's economy. A lot of people don't understand. Look, I watch what goes on in all this, but this isn't what determines my destiny. I'm not moved by the things I see. I'm moved by the things I believe, and I believe based on the word of God. You are blessed and highly favored. The stock market can do all it wants to. But if you yourself stay focused on the laws of God in your giving, in your responsibility, in your life, in your testimony, in your faith, in your hope, in your love for your family and your community, listen, and keep walking in that blessing and keep positive. Listen, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that would rise against you, they shall be condemned in judgment. Listen, for this is the heritage of the Lord. And blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in that law he doth meditate day and night. He's like a tree planted by the rivers of water. He shall not be moved. His leaves will not wither. He will bear fruit in his season, and whatever he puts his hand to, he shall prosper. Don't shut down, church. Don't quit praying. Are you serious? Quit doubting. Quit pouting. Start shouting. Are you serious? What's going on? We got more breaking news. Trump campaign sues CNN for millions of dollars over the false and defamatory statement. President Donald Trump's re-election campaign has just sued CNN over their false defamation statements about seeking the Russians to help win the 2020 election. Are they doing that again? Is it Russian collusion, confusion, solution, abomination? The complaint alleges that CNN was aware of the falsity at the time it published them, but did so for the intentional purpose of hurting the campaign while misleading its own readers. In this process, the campaign filed this lawsuit against CNN and preceded suits against the New York Times and the Washington Post, and to hold the publishers accountable for their reckless, false reporting and also to establish the truth, says senior legal advisor Donald J. Trump.
It always just boggles my mind. Isn't the Washington Post owned by Bezos?
It is by Jeff Bezos, yes.
Amazon?
Amazon.
But he's working with the Pentagon, so he gets a free pass.
Yeah, he's working with the Pentagon.
Right, but we all buy right into Amazon.
Yeah,
Bezos.
And he owns the Washington Post, and the
Yeah.
Washington Post has been trashing Trump,
Yeah.
and the New York Times has been trashing Trump, CNN's been trashing Trump.
We
Well,
just
actually,
all
the Post
support
actually
that.
corrected something just recently, and they backed off.
Or maybe they're going to make a turnaround.
Well, they have to some
Okay.
degree because they're in tight with the Pentagon.
That makes me feel better. Okay, so the complaint filed in U.S. District Court for Northern District of Georgia, where CNN is located, claims that CNN and said that Trump's campaign assessed the potential risk and benefits of again seeking Russia's help in the 2020 and has decided to leave that option on the table. So, yeah, I mean, Amazon's. Heidi, what about the fact that look, a lot of these big conglomerates are locking arms against the president, and they have been for some time. CNN, certainly, the president's called them fake news forever.
To run their people out of the White House, pulled his credentials.
Yes, and I mean their ratings are horrible right now, and I mean that proves you that the American public can see right through what they've been doing. So, wow, big news, guys, big news. And while that's going on, more information just coming in. The Syrian Air Force just lost a MiG-29 fighter jet. The pilot is dead. Coming out of Damascus, the Syrian Air Force lost a MiG-29 fighter for the first time in more than 30 years. Luwafa columnist wrote on Twitter, learned that, this was according to the Bulgarian military, BulgarianMilitary.com is talking about the war in Syria. They're saying that the blogger published a video recording allegedly capturing an airplane takeoff as well as a photograph taken near the crash site. So yes, the Syrian Air Force has lost a MiG-29 fighter jet. Now, MiGs are made by the Russians, and so they sell them old Russian planes to the Syrians. The maintenance is not very good over there, and so some of these things end up crashing. But the wars, the rumors of wars, this is all part of what the Bible said happened in the last days. We've got more information on the Saudi crackdown. According to a report, a roundup of royals and aides has widened in Saudi Arabia, according to several reports in what is believed to be the latest crackdown by the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the king's de facto ruler, against the potential challengers to his power. Matter of fact, on yesterday, a day after it was reported that 2 senior members of the royal family were detained, Heidi, over an alleged coup plot. Well, in America, we had a soft coup by the director of the FBI, the director of the CIA, the Congress members, and there's the lovers, and nobody got arrested. Over there, they get. Of course, that's a kingdom. That's a monarchy. This is a. Supposed to be a republic. I think we're a corporation. We're still trying to figure it out. If Bernie gets in, it will become a utopian madness. Okay, utopian madness. Everything will be free.
I thought it was illegal to threaten Supreme Court.
Are you going to go down that Schumer road?
I sure thought it was.
It's a long and winding road. Dun, dun, dun. Threaten the Supreme Court justices. Yes. Chucky Schumer